Okay, thankfully there is some light here because I would usually have my computer on the very front, so that way you can kind of see, a little bit more lighting within my face. Unfortunately, though, I have some very, very bad news. My computer will no longer be in operation, depending though if it can get fixed, and which is probably going to be a long while without it, because it's been one of the most essential things that I need to help me with a lot of things. When it comes to Skype, when it comes to my fanfiction stories, which I was currently working on at the time. When it comes to storing things that I need stored on there until I can get it all sorted out. But apparently, there was a little accident that went on, and the computer fell on me, and let's just say it did not go so lightly. I was actually trying to untangle some cords. I left it balanced upon the fucking bed. Oh my gosh, and it fell over, and it got fucking damaged, and I had it under a protection plan, that is, and I recently just found out that it wasn't fully registered, which really kind of just set me off, but not in the outside, but in the inside. But so now I got to call them, but I got to call receipt retrieval's number, get that shit sorted out. The possibility is you're probably not going to be seeing me with the computer for a very kind of long time, depending though. But it's since now it's broken, it's making me real depressed. No, I am not attached to the computer, so let's not get any emotional things over an object in that situation or in that path. What I'm really just depressed about, though, is that Skype is one of the usually main things I keep in contact with, actually family and friends. Along like Facebook and all that, of course, on a mobile device. But hey, you know what? I'm used to actually doing that on a computer, so that too, and not to mention my fan fiction stories were saved on a hard drive, so I'm not sure if the autosave is if it was autosaved from the 2013 Microsoft Word. If it is, and I find that it's on there still on the flash drive, it's right where it left off, right where to put it. That's one less thing to worry about. But it just really depresses me, though, that I just installed Microsoft fucking Student and Home and shit, and now computer breaks. So I don't know what I'm going to be left with, so probably have to wait for another paycheck to come in, get things rolling a little bit. But I do have an old computer somewhere, so that's not really the main topic I wanted to talk about, but we'll get into that in just a minute. So other than that, it's not the video downloader thing that I actually have an issue with getting off the computer. It's not really the pictures of me or anything else on the computer I have a issue with trying to get. It's mostly just me getting my Microsoft 2013 stuff, my fanfiction stuff, just to see if it's actually picked up where it left off and didn't just wipe it all out. And hopefully, I also have, what was it again? I have basically, as long as I just have the three: Skype, Microsoft, Word at least, and also the parts of where I left off in the story most oftenly, and maybe some videos, that would be completely fine. That is the only thing I'm actually having a little concern and worry about. So I'll probably have to find another computer, see if that's on there, and such and such. So, now, I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but I do completely apologize. Alright. I guess I could explain a little bit of the fan fiction of what's going on, I guess, since I forgot the subject. If I find out what it was, I'll just make it another video. But basically, this fan fiction I'm running is basically the DC universe. If you remember me talking about the DC topics that I was talking about, if Gotham really existed, I would really want that kind of place to be built upon the settings of, the theme settings from Batman and Robin, despite how a fucking crappy movie that was. From the Dark Knight and a mixture of a Six Flags version, all fused together and all that. But I guess this fan fiction story that I'm writing for the DC thing, I mean, I understand it's not in the paragraph form that it should probably be in, but I'm just trying to get the basic idea of it. It's kind of like a rough draft, but once I get into a paragraph form, it will be a different story, and I'll try to work more on the editing. But basically, the story that I've written out, I couldn't find a name for the character that I was putting together. I'm trying to find out, how. I haven't even gotten the origins of the whole thing written out yet. It was just all planned within my mind, but I didn't even start there. I started on a more kind of like what's that kind of thing? If you've seen Red Dragon, and then you've seen the Hannibal Lecters. You know, Red Dragon's supposed to be the prequel to that upcoming type of thing. So basically, I started out as a way beyond the origins of it, because there's many plots in between that the origins and the actual event of where I first actually wrote the part of the story where it began. But where it actually begins is the origins. But basically, part of this, by the way, this will be part 1, by the way, because I want to talk about it later on part 2. But where it starts off is, it's basically, the character name is J Realm. I really couldn't think of any other name. I didn't want to think too simple, basic, or anything. So I figured, I like the name J. So I figured I'd put that in there, and then Realm, which is my middle name, backwards. But he's not based upon me. He's basically based upon 2 of my favorite characters from different franchises, Street Fighter and Tekken, which the hero's name is actually Jin Ryu. Jin with a slash and then Ryu. Just hope that doesn't really violate any copyright issues. But that's basically the hero's name within that comic, or within the story so far. Basically, it kind of starts out where he, not from the origins, but from the story, he falls out from the sky from a big explosion. He meets the Teen Titans and meets along some familiar enemies, such as like the Cinder Block, Deathstroke, or Slade, because it's kind of the cartoon version that I'm kind of putting on. But Brother Blood, Trigon, and all that other stuff. And basically, what it comes down to is that there are many other characters that come before him, that are before him in that instance, and after. There's some new enemies, new allies. One of them, which is a like and dislike relationship between the character that I made and another one who I call Motorhead, after the band name Motorhead, because I figured that'd be a good person's name from a person who turns villain into a hero. That would be the kind of idea that I'm having. So basically, the character that I actually made in fiction has this romantic relationship with Raven. I understand that the DC story usually revolves around when it comes to Teen Titans, or when it comes to the point of view of Raven or Beast Boy, that they eventually have that romantic relationship. Of course, with all the Terra stuff from back then. But I figured, hey, why not? Raven is, after all, one of my favorite characters. But I figured, why don't we just I just do it that way and just have it along with different points, and then many things that kind of surround the character, expand a little bit on the idea of how this character is to be, where his origins are from. It's expanding more on the idea. It's more like a character build from it. But there's still more that I'm doing to it. I've skipped a lot of plots that I've been originally thinking, so I've been just focusing on these main ones. And so basically, I'm working on one. It's similar to what I'm actually been playing in the video games, watching, and basically it's inspired by a lot of things. Legend of Zelda, Metal Gear Solid. Trust me, those two have a good comparison within the story as well. You could say referencing, but it's basically like a little bit of the formula of Metal Gear Solid 4 and a formula from the Ocarina of Time. But it also bases around more other things, such as, what was the idea? Mortal Kombat, because the basic idea of the Mortal Kombat thing, which I originally thought of not saying that I originally thought of it, but there was never really an official white ninja in the Mortal Kombat franchise. So I figured I'd take this kind of idea along with it, change it out a little bit from the idea and from the point of view, and add them along with that in the change of name. Of course, you have a Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken name fused together. Not really the name of the white suit, but I mean, you have the 3 ideas fused together. So right now, this is part 1, so we're going to head into part 2, so stay tuned.